Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin String coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner, the first one for 2022. So tonight we are going back a decade to 2012. One of the set of MREs that Aletha, my Iowa sister, gave me. This is packed by AmeriQual. There is Mike in the house. And Pete, thanks for dropping in. AmeriQual imprints a date code on there. Don't know if this will focus on it. There we go. And there is Ford and Angry Blacksmith here. I got pots on the stove coming up to a boil. So this is just chicken with noodles. And we'll see how the peelable seal goes. Will it work or will it fail? This one might be a fail because I have a feeling my thumbnail is actually going to just go right through the bag and not actually open up a hole to where I can pull it apart. You have to excuse the cat, the younger one. She's a bit active, shall we say. Yep, see my fingernail's right about to go through the bag, so. Time for the cheaters. There is spicy tuna rolls here. Thanks for dropping in. Now this peelable seal just is not going to cut it. And I'll just use the MRE bag as my trash bag like I always do. And as you can see, per AmeriQual usual, they use an inner wrapper, and this one looks pretty thin. There's only one box, whereas the last one I opened up had two boxes. It did not have a beverage bag, but I can see one there. And this is the same packaging that Sopaco now uses for the halal MREs instead of the clear bag. It says chicken and noodles with vegetables and sauce. And this is a pack date on here. Very short ingredients list on here. If this were produced now, I bet there would be a whole lot more stuff. And all this info stuff that reminded the soldiers to be sure to eat the whole ration. So got peanut butter. There is James Ortiz in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Then as a snack, nut raisin mix with M&Ms. Looks like some of these things almost got sealed into this bag right here. So I pulled the accessory. Yep, see this one. Oh, it's actually stuck. That's what it is. It's stuck to something else inside here, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull out this whole mess. So got the beverage bag. Oh, this is the culprit. This sauce packet leaked. All over the grape jelly. So I have to clean that up. And the wheat snack bread, it leaked all over that. So I'm going to leave that stuck for now, but what I'm going to do is, this is lemon lime drink powder, so that will go into the drinking jar. It leaked on the spoon, but it leaked on the wrapper. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that wrapper, throw it in the MRE bag. So the beverage bag is stuck to the FRH, which I wouldn't be using the FRH anyway, so these will have to go get cleaned up. So I will put those right there. The peanut butter packet is fine. It's not leaked on. I'm going to go ahead and take the main out of the box, so you can look at the retort, see how it looks. So this is looking pretty good to me. The tear notch going this way as opposed to this way, and there's two of them. So there's one here and one there. I guess all these retorts back then were made like this with two tear notches, I guess depending on when you hold it up like this where the top of the food was. There is Rachel's Sunshine Side of Life 77 in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I'll go ahead and I decided to cut open the accessory pack just so I can just pull all the items out at once. Even though I really didn't find any stickiness on it, but we got the peppermint gum, got the rear roll, got the salt, got the wet wipe, got the sugar for the 4 MRE mug. Ooh, got matches that are not shiny. And it looks kind of like, I've never seen matches that were like this in an MRE yet. So the cover is almost the same shade as the matchstick itself. But usually it's either lighter tan or green. And it's a little bit shinier, but this is a little more of a matte finish. It's still D.D. Bean & Sons. Got the non-dairy creamer. Now it's in, the creamer nowadays, it's in something like this. That'll go into the 4 MRE mug. Coffee Instant Type 3. There is St. Bernard Acres in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Hope things are going well up there. Weather-wise. So got a Type 3 coffee instead of anything like a Bill's Brew or a Genial. So and for those that are just coming in, I'm looking at a 2012 US MRE Menu 3 chicken with noodles. Well, that turnout really didn't work. There we go, that one did. There is prep for it in the house. Plain old Chuck is here. For those that were in the service at the time, in 2012 or maybe like to 15 or whatever, you may be more familiar with this menu. I have not had it before. So this is what the drink powder looks like. I got my Foreign MRE Sport, which I always use in my reviews. And approximately 12 ounces of water, give or take a milliliter or 3. A lot of people like this one over some of the other drink mixes, including me. If I had a choice between this one and either the fruit punch or tropical punch, give me this every time. There is Sean in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This one seems to mix up a lot better. You don't have that weird looking stuff on the top. I'll give that a stir later anyway. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and put my sugar, creamer, and These creamer packets used to have a bit of a sheen to them. Compared to the coffee packet. Although my lighting might not really show up, but it's also, this is slightly lighter in color. Give this creamer a look. Looks good to go. And we all know the sugar's going to be good. That's what we're looking at tonight. So what I will do is I will take this to the kitchen, and then before I pour the coffee, I will try to clean up these, or at least got the snack bread, got the grape jelly, but this thing is toast. But yeah, you can see how it exploded from being sucked in during the vacuum process. I probably will not bother with this until after the review when I'm cleaning up, but I will take it into the kitchen. But the snack bread and the jelly I'll clean up, and this will go into the trash. But anyway, I will be right back. Okay, I am back. So obviously that hot sauce, not gates, but I got the grape jelly and the wheat snack bread pouches cleaned off, so they're good to go. And I did run a little bit of water over the FRH and the beverage bag. So they should be a lot easier to clean up. So I'll put the coffee back there. I'm going to go ahead and open up the nut raisin mix. I've got some almonds, got peanuts, got raisins, and walnut. That's okay, Mike. You know, you're this and that is here. Thanks for dropping in. There is Carla here. Burger Butt and Booger Butt. I don't know if it's one or both. I'm scrolling back through the chat. And I'm just going back to see if I missed anyone. And it looks like I'm all caught up pretty much. Time to see how a 10-year-old wheat snack bread looks. They put these little oxygen absorbers in there. That's the front, this is the back side, or what could be the bottom. It smells like wheat snack bread. Well, there's the grape jelly. There's really not a whole lot to this MRE at all, besides the snack bread, the nut raisin mix. I'm needing the peanut butter. Let's see, Puppy Breath is here. Thanks for dropping in. I'm going to give, oops, sorry about that, about my phone mount. I need to give the lemon lime drink another stir. So that's what I'm doing because there's still powder at the bottom. That's why I like to do these drinks first, to give them more time to dissolve. I'll bring it onto the tray. So yeah, that did the trick. Seems to have pretty much dissolved. This reminds me of that soda called Surge. That used to be pretty popular years ago. It had more caffeine than Mountain Dew, so I did drink a fair amount of it. Not all the time, but I enjoyed it. So the color of this reminds me of that. I have not seen it in stores in years. That's okay, James. If I use autocorrect, it wants to flag my name as an error, and it wants to flag my city name as an error, so it does not recognize Des Moines. I'm going to go ahead and break this wheat snack bread open so get a cross section of it. Smad. I'm going to take a little nibble of one of the peanuts. I want to find out if they've gone rancid. See, I barely took a bite of that. They taste old, but I'm not getting that numbness from anything that would be rancid, so I'd say these peanuts are good to go. I'm doing the same with the almond. These are not salted, which is a bummer to me. This and that is in the house, but I can taste almond flavor, so they don't taste bad. It's got that crunch that an almond should. Here's a piece of walnut. Well, it's good to go too. Again, I wish these nuts were salted. Raisins should be fine. Yep. I don't see any cashews. I will grab a green pan-coated chocolate disc. This looks a little darker than a M&M, a green M&M, but you can see I can't tell if that's the actual chocolate or if just some of the green is worn off. Oh. All good inside. So this little snack mix is good to go. I just wish that these are salted. Can't go wrong with that lemon lime. Now before I open up the peanut butter and jelly and put it on the snack bread, I'm going to go get the main because it should be done by now, and I'll be right back. I'm going to slide this over here. Have that. Just use this. This is just a piece of my cookware set that can be like a dome lid. It's not the type where you can actually use it on a burner to cook in, but you could set it on top of a pot. And you could use it as a double boiler, although it wouldn't be very, not a very deep double boiler, but you could do it. But it fits better as a lid, but it works great for just bringing the hot main in from the kitchen. I'm just using a paper towel to dry it off so I can handle it. Go ahead and open this up and see what this stuff looks like. Well, this thing doesn't want to tear, and I don't want to open that down here because it might be below the top of the food, so that's how I got the cheaters. Just stuff it in there. And again, for those coming in late, this is from 2012. I can slide the tray back. I see carrots. Looks like egg noodles. It's got peas. I just wanted to take a bite of the chicken by itself. That's why I left the carrot. But the chicken tastes fine. It's got the right amount of salt for my liking. It could be on a bit, dry side, but because these are in smaller pieces, but not overly processed, it looks like it was just cubed up. Well, the carrot is very soft. Ooh, I see a bit of red. Looks like a bell pepper. But just barely enough to see it. I could hardly taste it with that big chunk of chicken. Grab a bit of pea. Peas are very soft too. But almost can't taste the pea flavor. And just after the noodles. Very, very soft. They almost disintegrate. Oh, there you go. There is a piece of the red bell pepper. See it in the sauce there. I could barely taste that bell pepper flavor. So, very, very soft. Noodles instantly go to mush. But it still has that classic chicken noodle flavor. It just needs a little firmer texture. So this main held up pretty well. Oh, that's good for you, Rachel. They're just expensive as heck. So you have a good night, Rachel. Hope you feel better soon. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have a sip of the coffee. Yep, typical type 3 flavor. I don't mind it. I prefer type 2 or even type 1 if I can get it. I'm going to take a little tiny nibble of this bread. I can tell that it's a whole wheat bread. It just tastes old. It hasn't really lost the wheat flavor, but it's not rancid. So I think it's going to check out this peanut butter. I just popped an air bubble in there. So that's the peanut butter. There is Aletha in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Aletha, this is your menu 3. Now, peanut butter is perfect, but this bread is extremely dry. Oops, sorry about that. But the peanut butter has good peanut flavor. Now the grape jelly is one that I had to clean off. So I'm cutting the corners off of these just because I have my cheaters out. See what this grape jelly looks like. It hasn't gone as dark as apple butter. There's Hugo Homestead in the house. Thanks for dropping in. But putting the jelly on that bread definitely makes up for the dryness. It's got the good grape flavor. It would have been nice to try the hot sauce in this, but since it exploded and made a mess on some other things, that had to go into the trash. But for this 12-year-old MRE, I'd say other than the hot sauce exploding, it held up pretty good. This nut raisin mix is fine. It's not rancid. Oh, yeah, puff corn. Yeah, I know about puff corn. I actually like it. My mom eats that because regular popcorn, she has a hard time getting it out from under her dentures. Oh, someone mentioned popcorn. So that's what people are kind of chatting about, the puffcorn and popcorn. Yeah, at least I hope they'll be biodegradable. Some of the grape jelly leaked out onto the peanut butter packet, but oh well. Now this grape jelly is pretty good. I'm going to try a little something, just for the heck of it. Putting some of the main on a piece of the bread. Crackers would have been better, you know, to give it a little crunch. Only thing I know about a totem is I got to review one. And it's kind of like a slightly lighter version. It comes in a clear bag instead of one like this. It comes in the bag that the halal MREs used to come in, or something like that. But it has blue text on it instead of black. And as far as I know, there are not as many menu options in the totem, but you know, it's got the usual suspects that you'd find in other MREs. But other than that, I don't know a whole lot about them. But if you go to mreinfo.com, you should be able to get some dirt on the totems about what menus are produced when. And if they're still being made now, what the menu lineup might be. Yeah, because they're produced by the same companies that produce the standard MREs. If it's a Sapaco or a Miraqual, you might find a date code on the bag. But because you can see through it, depending on how the items are packed inside, you might be able to pick a date code off one of the components. But as far as I know, that's all I know about them. But I'm glad I got to review one. So that was, I can't remember who sent it to me, but that was very generous of the sender. I wouldn't mind trying a couple more totem menus. The totems probably have the same kind of shelf life as the standard MREs or the halal MREs or the civilian ones. If, you know, the same type of retorts. So I would guess they probably have the same inspection date, you know, like 3 to 5 years out from a production date. I'm going to try a little something just for the heck of it. I'm going to throw a few peanuts in here just to get a little crunch. See how that goes. Of course, they'll blend in because of the light color of everything. Now, that's one thing about using this green tray. If I use it with a light colored entree, you'll be able to see everything better. Oop, totally missed a peanut. There we go. the peanut crunch, but that's about it. You can get that and the spork at foreignmre.com. Yeah, I know I'm a shameless plug. I might throw a couple more of the peanuts in. I got more of them than anything else in this snack mix. Would have been nice if they would have thrown in a cashew or 3, but nope. I only had to give me peanuts and a couple of token almonds and a couple of token walnuts. Even though the pasta and the veggies in here are complete mush, they have not lost all of their flavor. They obviously just don't taste fresh as they would have been if this was, if I would have got this brand new. But this is definitely, at least this main anyway, is definitely for someone who has a hard time chewing hard things like. Oh, well, speaking of macadamia, look what I found. Oh, good day, Pete. Well, there's another macadamia. All the way from the other side of the planet where it is Monday morning or Monday afternoon. I'm not sure which. I just know if Yossi from Israel comes in or if Black Scout Sweet comes in. So this is a macadamia. That nut tastes perfectly fine. But I only had the one almond in there. No, nope, there's another one. There's another almond. I'll eat that other macadamia later. But some of these, well, it would be M&Ms if it was some commercial packaging. I can see that the dark of the chocolate through the crack in the coating. So those are perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with those. I watched Pete review the video of that Russian take on a humanitarian ration. By the look of that other writing, that has to be either Urdu or Pashto. Because it doesn't look enough to me like Arabic or Farsi. And of course, Farsi is not used a whole lot in Afghanistan. But some people probably do speak Farsi there. But Urdu and Pashto are the dominant languages there, so I'm guessing that other writing is either one of those two. Thanks for dropping in, Puppy. I hope you have a good rest and A good start to the year. I'm putting a little bit of this on here. I'm just gonna chuck a peanut on there just for the sheer heck of it. If Dub C were in here, he would probably call this a megabyte. So this and that. Thanks for dropping in. Hope to see you next week. Well, that's all for that, Maine. So everyone's saying goodnight to all those who are leaving. Slide that over just a little bit. Now this grape jelly is a bit on the loose side. But that's okay. And there is Shadow Scout Swede. Thanks for dropping in. So it is definitely morning where he's at. And speaking of that ration that Pete Review did, another reviewer opened up one of those. But his had some serious issues. I believe it was Nathan's MRE. Something got into the outer bag that his was in, and it completely messed up the sheet that was in there, and it messed up the box, and it messed up some of the components. He was able to salvage most of it, but it was messed up bad. So something happened to his in transit. But the one that Pete had looked absolutely fine. There was no issues with the packaging. It looked like it traveled very well from the source. Oh, so is Booger Butt and Booger Butt, they're the ones that had it messed up? But I think Nathan had one too. I don't know, I'd have to look back through his videos, but the one that it was waterlogged. There is no doubt about that one was waterlogged. It was messed up bad. But this one here, the only thing that I could not salvage at all is the hot sauce. It exploded and it messed up the FRH, flameless ration heater, messed up the beverage bag, and it exploded onto the grape jelly and the wheat snack bread and the wrapper that the spoon was in. But because it's inside that wrapper, this is absolutely clean. And it barely missed getting on the accessory pack. Of course, because that's plastic, everything inside it was good to go. But other than that, this thing held up fine. Well stored. Again, I got this from Olathe. I got a few others from her that are from, these are from a single case or 2 cases. And she sent them to me because, with her situation, I would probably go through them sooner than she would. And I'm very glad to have them. And I will enjoy them. Yeah, because I do it on when I'm on Facebook or Instagram, or if I'm doing certain things on my phone, because I'm doing it on a small screen, I mess up. But when I have my Kindle, I have a Bluetooth keyboard. So when I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm using that. The laptop that I have, I've gotten some things downloaded onto it that I want for video processing. I put on the video editor called OpenShot. It's an open source video editor. You can do the free version, or you can pay for a subscription, I believe. But I've used that before. I like it. So I downloaded that. I have OBS on it, and I have XSplit on it. But my issue with laptops is, I cannot get the screen where I want it and still be able to use the keyboard comfortably. Yeah, thanks for dropping in, Sean. Hope to see you next week. As I was saying, laptops, although they're very nice and portable, for my needs, a desktop is actually better because I can have the screen separated from the keyboard and position both where I want them. But at least I have this. I want to get some additional memory for it. And I will eventually order a new battery. I have seen them on eBay, so I have a couple of them on my watch list on eBay. One new, one used. But I have it plugged in. And what I'm doing now is basically it's on all the time, but in sleep mode. And I keep my Kindle charged up on it, but it's a slow charge, so it runs through power. It doesn't stay at 100% or take a super long time to run down the battery, so I use a power bank. When, say, the battery level on the Kindle gets, say, between 60 and 75%, then I might plug it into a power bank or one of my power stations, but I prefer to keep the power stations for emergency use, like for a power outage, so I'll use a power bank because I don't have a long enough cord where I could plug it into a wall outlet or a power strip. But I am very grateful to have this laptop, since my other one that has Windows XP on it, that's pretty much gone downhill. So it won't even fully boot up. So I actually put that one in a bag. But this one, this newer one, the screen is a lot wider, so I do like that. What I might do is, I have several of the Minotaur Arctic Field Ration boxes. I might put the laptop on those. I have it on what's called a chill pad. So it takes up, you plug it into one of the USB ports, and then as the computer runs, it takes power from the computer to run a fan to draw the heat off from the underside of the laptop. And it raises it up off your table or desk a little bit. And that thing is very quiet. I can barely hear it over the other ambient noises in the room. Taking off a Pete review. I'm sure you probably got work since it is Monday already. So, but I do thank you for dropping in, and go check out his review of that Russian take on the humanitarian ration, and check out his other videos. He has some really awesome stuff, some very cool finds that he has been able to get a hold of that is so hard to get a hold of here in the States. Yeah, the only thing that was missing out of his ration was the cheese. So either Customs took the cheese or it exploded, and that's why they took it out. Who knows? Or it just never got put in there to begin with. Now, that has been known to happen where a packer, someone working on the fill line, will forget to put an item into the ration, or will put two of an item. So that does happen. You know, that slips by quality control. Oh, I didn't notice that he or they left, but hopefully I have a good night and good Monday. I'm sure LJ will probably be heading back to school if his school starts up again tomorrow. Now the schools start up again here in Iowa tomorrow. I'm just chowing down on the rest of the nut raisin mix. Not really, unless you would count the grape jelly or the raisins or the M&Ms. So no real dessert in this one. Before I could see what the bread pouch was, I was hoping that it might be like a pound cake or a muffin top or something like that, but since there are no crackers, I thought, I wonder what this could be. So then I cleaned it off and I could see that it's the wheat snack bread. And thanks for dropping in, Ford. Have a good night. These peanut butter and jelly, I'll just end up sucking them right out of the packets. Later, that's just what I do. Yep, you can't go wrong with this lemon lime. It's one of the better ones. Giving you another close-up look. It says D.D. Bean and Sons. It has the same text as on the other matchbooks. Nothing on this side. It's just I've never seen one that looks like this. I have the tan shiny ones, the light green ones, dark green ones. But this is the first time I've seen them like this. Of course, I have no idea what the tip color means. Of course, it says close cover before striking. I'll just close the cover. I'm not going to strike it because, you know, I save all of these matchbooks. I have a bag full of these because one day, you know, if things really go south, cannot go to a store to buy matches. I have these plus other matches that I have. I save all of these rear rolls. I have yet to get a blue one. I have ones that have the little tab that sticks out of one end. Well, it looks like this one did get a little sauced on it. Actually, I'll slide it out. I am curious about this particular one. Oh, totally white, totally clean. Looks like just the paper got a tiny bit of something through the accessory pack. It says Lighthouse. SF is San Francisco. And these did not have as much stuff on them as they do now. Oh yes, those are very good. And I save all these salt packets because one day I may have to rely on these, or I could barter these. That's another reason why I save all these things, including the moist towelettes. I'm not much of a gum chewer, but I do save the gum. Though this piece looks like it got a little bit of a dimple in there. Like something poked it during processing. But it still looks good. It looks nice and white. And I save all of these spoons, so I have a gallon bag full of these. So these will come in handy in the event that I have to seriously conserve my water and use disposable utensils and paper plates and bowls. You know, rely on my stash of napkins and paper towels. So I have a small supply of all of these things. Yeah, I can only store so much in this apartment, so I have to be creative about how I store stuff. But that's how I do it. I was just checking my scissors to see if I need to wash them, but nope, they're clean. So let's see, what do I do next week? Should I go Lithuanian? Or should I go to the Polish ration in a green bag that I have? Yeah, as I said earlier, this reminds me of that soda called Surge that was popular years ago. It was called that because it had more caffeine in it than Mountain Dew. I think it outlasted this other soda called Like, which is a cola. And I think it was a little bit more caffeinated than Coke and Pepsi. But I think the Surge outlasted Like, but I have not seen either in a long time. But I have 2 Lithuanian rations. I have a Norwegian Arctic Field ration. I got the Dub C Megabyte. And I have that, that MRE 1776 in the silver Mylar bag. I got the 2 Halal MREs, one in the older packaging, one in the newer. And then I have another Minotaur Arctic Field ration. The third one that I have is packed up in a trade box. So I packed up all that stuff for the person I'm going to trade with. And I taped the living crap out of it just to protect the contents. Yep, Jolt was another one. I drank some of that. The older halal. Yeah, what I might actually do is I will review the older one, but I will open both of them to show the difference in the packaging between the 2 versions. So that's probably what I'll do. But the halal MREs, they do not have a hot drink in them. They'll have a cold drink, but not a hot drink. So I will pull one out of my stash to add to that. I don't know why Sopaco doesn't put a coffee or a cocoa mix or cappuccino in the halal MREs. Yep, I can pull a G7. I can get a tea out because I have tea bags. Just like I did last week, I decided to have a tea to go with that lamb. And yes, I have that coffee packed away, that Cafe Bustelo. So I can probably do that. In fact, I will get that. This is the older packaging style of the halal MREs. It has this H, so it's halal certified. So it has the peelable seal. These do not have menu numbers. So there is another halal certification logo here. This one, jalfrezi with lamb. This is my favorite of the halal MREs that I've had. You can see it has, that's a silver pouch for the snacks. And these things are snack heavy, which I have not quite figured out. See, this one has the sleeve and not the box. So the main in this one is not in a box, but there is something that is in a box. So this is either a pudding or a fruit or something like that. I'm guessing it's a pudding. So that's probably what the boxed item is. Because this is, oops, sorry about that. Let me pick that back up. So this is the retort for the main right here. And down here, you might not be able to read it, but it has what it is. It's got the pack, date code. Yeah, this is the older style. The newer is in the bag that looks like the inner wrap of an AmeriQual packed MRE. So I could open both of those to show the difference in the packaging of the different items, but I would eat this one. Still crooked. So this is what what I might do. And then the other halal MRE, I'll probably store in this bag instead of use this as a trash bag. I'll probably store it in here. But before I do that, I'll probably shoot a picture of it in my phone so that I can, when it's time to review that one, I can post that one up intact before it gets opened. So I'll probably do that. But yeah, that could be how I'll do that. I don't know if anyone has done that with the two different versions of the halal MREs. Someone might have, but if that video might be pretty far back on someone's channel, might be hard to find, but yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, that jalfrezi with lamb, I really enjoyed it the last time, and I definitely will enjoy digging into that one again. I wish I could find something like that in a commercial package and just buy it in a store, but I have not seen that. Even in a Hillel, I have not seen anything like that. Any of their canned goods or shelf-stable pouches that would have the jalfrezi with lamb. But that is definitely one of my favorite mains. I also like the sag chole. That's my other favorite. I would eat that sag chole pretty often too. So if that sounds all right with you, I'll do that next week. I don't mind having lamb a couple weeks apart, with one Sunday in between. I would definitely be okay with that. But I think that's probably going to do it for this one. And I'll just suck the rest of these out of the packets because that's just what I do. But I do want to thank you all for watching. And I hope to see you next week with some Joe Frazzi. So, and check out all the channels that you've seen that you haven't seen in here before. Check them out, see what they got going. Anyway, thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.